Okay, so in my last video, I was looking at the crypto.com ICY and Rose Gold cards and seeing what rewards we get back. And I did an experiment where I bought £10 worth of beer and I got 40p back, which is like 4%, which is okay. I probably didn't mention the fact that these days you need £40,000 worth of CRO token locked up to get that benefit, which is obviously quite a lot of money. I didn't have to do that because I did it in 2020 when you had to lock up 100,000 CRO, I think it was, that at the time was about €6,000. So it was a lot more affordable then. But nevertheless, that gets 4% back, which I believe will be dropping to 3.5% in October. Now this time I'm going to use the Tap Global app. They seem to have redone their website and seem to put this M&M type character on the front. And all the links here seem to push you towards the download rather than giving you any information. So for example, I think you have to scroll backwards and forwards with these. I don't know why. But, so if you want to find out about money account, that's actually not clickable. So I think they just want you to download the app. So, and it says pays back 8%. Okay, so we're going to look at that. 8% is for the Prestige account, which is the one that I've got. And to get that one, you actually need to lock up £20,000 worth of XTP. Now, the good thing about that is if you catch it when it kind of peaks a little bit, and then you go for your premium tier, then if the price comes back down afterwards, you still hold that tier, even though the price has come down. So actually, my XTP is actually worth a lot less than it was when I got that tier. But I've still got the Prestige tier. So let's go over to the app and have a look what's what. I will say that at the moment we don't have GBP loading on the card or any sort of proper GBP account on the app. So I only really tend to use it when I'm in France or Spain. However, in this video, I'm going to use it in the UK to see what happens, see if the 8% is worth it once you've changed from like pounds to euros and then euros back to pounds again. Okay, so I'm just looking at the app here. I just want to look at the transactions that I've done. So you can see the crypto transactions here. So I've actually been using this since 2023. I've had a card since then as well. And you can see that in 2025 I started getting some cash back in the form of XTP from using the card, which is quite good. I only really ever used the card when I was abroad because it's basically in euros. And my last lot of cash back, that was a decent amount, was here on the 3rd of August 2026, and that was 39,202 XTP. I just want to check what that was for. I think it was like a car hire or something. And you can see here that it's mostly things like in the airport at Malaga. Yeah, so that would have been this one here. So Centauro, 397 euros. Okay, so let's work out how much that would have been on August the 4th, 2025. Bear in mind the cashback you get with Tap is actually locked for a year. Okay, it's also worth bearing in mind that last year my level of card, it was, I think, platinum, which meant that I should have been getting like 6% cash back. So let's work out if that was the case. Now, sadly, we can't look at the price of Tap on TradingView because even though it's actually listed on Weeks now, Weeks have decided not to show it on TradingView for some reason. Nevertheless, the chart is actually quite depressing. Since the monumental rise in 2023, it's been pretty much down only. But if we look at the price from August last year, maybe on the daily, you can see that around about August the 3rd, we were on something like 0.000672. And for that, the rewards I received were 39,203 XTP. So in dollars, that was $26.43. And at that time, we were getting something like 1.156 euros to $1. So I'd need to divide this figure here by 1.156 to get that in euros. So about 22 euros 86 cents. So I got 22 euros 86 back from my purchase of 397 for the car hire. So that was that. Multiply that by 100 to get the percentage. So 5.75%. So pretty much near the 6% that we were looking for. I guess there's some slight discrepancies in the euro to dollar rate there, which might have confused things a little bit. But yeah, so I was pretty much getting 6%. So what is that amount of XDP worth today? Well, the current price is $0.0006895. We want to multiply that by 39,202, which is the amount of rewards we get. So if we multiply that, okay, so that's $27, which today is worth 23 euros 35, which is actually slightly better than it was a year ago. So the actual price has increased slightly. Now, obviously, this is where the problem arises here, because we don't know what XTP is going to be worth in a year's time. It could be worth twice as much as it is today. It could be worth zero, really, but we don't know. I mean, the price has stayed low for a few years now, so it's quite possible that it could be just at a similar price this time next year. So bearing that in mind, let's go and do the £10 experiment. Now, without having the GBP loading, the only cheap way I can think of doing this kind of loading with euros is to go from my UK bank to a Euro bank that I have, and I do that via Wise. So in this case, I topped up the account with 207 euros 72 cents, and to do that, I had to send £179 and 10 pence to Wise to do that. You can't do it straight from Wise, because Wise will terminate your account if they find out you're doing anything to do with crypto. So you can't do that. You need to go via another kind of European bank that is okay with this kind of thing. So that did include £1.17 bank charges. So what we really need to work out is how much it cost me to top up that account with £10. Now, I think this kind of figure here of like topping up with about 200 euros is probably about average for what I'll do on, say, like a weekly basis. Okay, so what I need to do here is to go to the card and make that balance a bit bigger. So if I go to top up, let's top up maximum. That's not good, is it? Let's change that to euros. Okay, so go maximum, top that up. Okay, so that is my card balance now. So I should be able to go and buy something now with that balance. It'll be the first time I've used this new card, so let's give it a go. Okay, slightly different this time. We've got the St Austerbury Tribute and the Sharps Pale Ale. Just waiting for someone to come and approve my stuff. So that'll be 10 quid. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so back in business. So I'm just going to pay for that. I don't think it'll let me do that. I think I might need the number. Oh, it did. Okay. Alright, cool. Done. Right, let's go and work it out. Okay, so this cost me £179 10p to top up £177 97 on the card. So that works out a loss of 0.63% to do that. Now, this is obviously where the GBP loading would be massively advantageous, because I could have just gone straight from my UK bank to tap, and if I'd have put, say, £200 there, £200 would have appeared with no loss. And then the actual spending, because the actual balance is euros on the card, obviously I'm spending GBP, so there's a foreign exchange fee there as well. So that means the beer that cost £10, that reduced the card balance from £190.95 to £180.82. So the £10 of beer cost me £10.13. So that's actually a loss of 1.3%. Now, these two percentages don't just simply add up. I actually used Claude for this. So I said if I top up a Euro Visa card with GBP and lose 0.63% in doing so, and then spend GBP on the card and lose a further 1.3% in FX fees, what is the overall loss? And it says here, two sequential losses compound rather than add. So it gives an example here. So my actual overall loss is 1.94%. Okay. So although I'm getting 8% cash back on the card, with the loss from the foreign exchange fees going both ways, the overall loss is going to be more like 1.94%. So we're talking like just over 6% cash back. Even so, that's not bad at all. But let's just check the amount of cash back showing in the app. Okay, so if you go to the card tab here, you can actually go down to cashback here, and that will show you here that yesterday I earned 1,527 XTP, which is worth 0.93 euros. Okay, so we can work out how much that is today in pounds, can't we? Now the thing is, this won't unlock until the 8th of August 2027, so we don't know what the price of XTP is going to do in the next year. It could increase, it could go down, it could stay the same, we don't know. Okay, so I just used Google for this. I went 1527 XTP to GBP, and indeed the value does come out there as 80p, so that is exactly 8%. Okay, so what does this mean for somebody using TAP? Well, it means if you live in a country where you get paid in euros and you use euros, then this is a no-brainer, because the only thing you have to think about is, do you think the price of XTP will be worth the same or perhaps more in 1 year's time, when you can actually get your hands on the cashback? And of course, if you need the cashback straight away, then this isn't for you. You do need to wait 12 months before you can get your hands on the XTP. If you're in the UK, like me, it's a different matter, because we know that we're going to lose 1.94% on the actual transaction of using the card in the UK at the moment. So you need to be using a tier that gets you more than, let's say, 2%. Okay, so TAP does have 6 different tiers going from free to prestige. And the first one that I think is probably the best one, or at least the entry one for people in the UK at the moment, is probably the prime one, where you need to lock up £2,500 worth of XTP, and this will get you 3% cash back. So obviously by the time you've had the loss, you're still going to get over 1% in cash back in XTP. So if you're in the UK, does it make sense to use your TAP card even though we don't have GBP loading? Well, part of me thinks that if I'm going to go from GBP to euros and then euros back to GBP, it doesn't really make sense, especially as you lose 1.94% in doing so. However, if you think the price of XTP is going to go up or even stay the same over the next 12 months, then it does make sense. Also, of course, when I'm in France or Spain or anywhere else in Europe, then I'm definitely going to be using my TAP card. Now, the other thing for me is sometimes I do work in other countries and I get paid in different currencies. Sometimes it'll be Australian dollars, sometimes it'll be in dollars. I even got paid in Thai baht for something. So if I'm getting paid in those currencies, it would make sense to maybe convert to euros, put them in the TAP account, and then use that wherever I am. But overall, I think the one thing is clear, is that we need the GBP card loading. Now, Arsen has mentioned in the past that the GBP loading is really not straightforward at all, and indeed we have been waiting for this for a couple of years now, I think. Apparently it's in the pipeline, and we can expect it sometime in the future. When, we don't know, but I think that's going to be a massive catalyst for the XTP token. And the thing is that's going to be advantageous for people like me in the UK, because I'm not going to be suffering that 1.94% loss every time I buy something in the UK. But also because there are quite a lot of XTP holders in the UK, it's probably going to be good for the token price as well. So cashback you earn now in 12 months' time could be worth a lot more. That's what I think anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and do watch this related video that's coming up here somewhere. All right, take care. Peace. Please note that this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial advice. Any information or opinions provided are not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. A full legal disclaimer is in the description of each video and live stream.